All right, so it's Wednesday, December the 3rd. Join me. We're going to roll through today's latest sneaker news updates. Now, today I actually want to start off with Steph Curry, which of course everybody knows recently. He announced his sneaker free agency as Under Armour, the Curry brand. They decided to go their separate ways, right? So in return, Steph, he's been pulling up in pretty much any hooping sneaker you could think of, from Hardens to Kobe's, even some throwback Mikes. But as far as last night, right, pulled up in the classic Nike Air Zoom Flight 98. He's kind of been building up this anticipation where people are actually checking. They don't know what shoes he's gonna pull up in, but as far as these right here, a signature model worn by Gary Payton, you know, one of Nike's 90s, definitely standout retro models. You gotta love it right here. I mean, look, even the equipment guy is amazed by these right here. And I thought it was noteworthy to mention this pair specifically due to the fact that there are reports that Nike is actually gonna be bringing these back coming up next year, which I can't tell y'all the last time that Nike brought these back, but it's definitely long overdue. I know this is a release coming up next year that a lot of people are gonna be looking forward to. And you gotta love the good OG black pair, but low key, the white joints was dropped back in the day as well. Those might be a little bit cleaner as well. So you gotta love the good classic, the glove, Zoom Flight 98. And for all my sneaker nerds, right? I remember coming up, specifically one of my older friends, his parents, they had grabbed him like a pair of the Zoom Flight 96 back in the day, which if you don't know what those are, you gotta look them up, man. Shout out to all my sneaker nerds. Moving right along, we're gonna go ahead and get into today's big releases, which we saw hit the Sneakers app today. We got the Air Jordan 5 PSGs, which yesterday we touched on stock numbers and how this release may catch some people off guard, a little more exclusive, a lot more limited than a lot of people may be anticipating heading into the drop, which the official stock numbers did come in right at under around 10,000 pairs. So as you can imagine, these joints did sell out. So I see what Nike did, right? You know what I'm saying? They're looking to make some bread right here. They dropped the 4 RMs as well, which I had no clue those were dropping. So I guess you could say consolation prize, like let's say you missed out on the 5s. I guess you could go ahead and pick up the 4 RMs, which low key, joints ain't too bad, right? So as far as those 5s, kind of caught some people off guards. Congratulations to everybody that had success on that drop. We also saw them continue to go crazy with the Kobe releases this December, as we got the Kobe 9 Elite Low Protro Perspective. So of course, everybody loves a good low profile, low top Kobe hooping sneaker. This is a re-release, or I guess I should say a remake of a sneaker which originally dropped back in the day, but rather than the high version that the OGs came in, you got the lower top version, right? So that was a cool drop. Nike made a lot of pairs of these. Stock numbers came in at somewhere like around 20,000 pairs. So good enough for everybody to grab. Moving along, we also have a release date here for the Kobe 6 Protro Jalen Brunson PE. They're calling these joints Statue of Liberty, which I gotta say, like, beautiful looking hooping shoe. Kobe's probably some of the most popular basketball sneakers. This one features like a nice little Tiffany blue. We've been seeing Jalen Brunson rocking these joints on court, which as far as the release date, it looks like these are expected to drop coming up December 11th, which the month of December has been absolutely jam-packed with Nike Kobe releases. And I just got a quick question for everybody watching, right? We always talk about hooping sneakers. So let me ask you guys, like, comment down below. Let me know, what is your favorite basketball team? Because when you talk about the game of basketball, like when compared to say like a sport like football, where it seems like people are a lot more loyal to a specific team, it almost kind of feels like in basketball, not everybody has like a favorite team, but more so they kind of like follow their favorite player. So just let me know what you guys think about that one. As far as me as a Heat fan, you wouldn't catch me dead rocking no pair like Jalen Brunson PEs, right? Like when you talk about rivalries, that's a no-go. But like I would say shoes like the Shays, you know, the Jazz, Anthony Edwards, they get a pass, right? Because they're not a rivalry. But let's just say like we get like a little finals matchup, say like the Heat up against OKC this year. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Low key, I might have to burn my shades, but y'all already know it never gets that serious. And as far as these Brunson joints, again, expected release date December 11th, but that's not set in stone yet. That's not official just yet, but some outlets are reporting that date. Now, as far as some other big releases coming up, we got the Hidden NY A6 Gel DS Trainer 14, which it looks like Hidden NY first, they hit us with the green joints. We saw those at Complex Con. And now we got the Dusk pair coming up soon. So it looks like Hidden NY, they're not trying to go down the same path as Amama and yeah, everybody thinking they're gonna be just dropping the same shade of green on a throwback runner vibe, right? They're hitting us with the blue this time, mixing things up just a little bit. You also got the special packaging and all that good stuff, which low key, like I could care less about the packaging. So if that kind of gets your rocks off, that's cool. But this is a good looking shoe, man. Nothing really bad to say about these right here. Keeping things pushing. We also got to look here at the West Side Gun Saucony collab. This is the Pro Grid Triumph 4. So good looking shoe. We've been seeing these for a while now. I respect the fact that West Side Gun, you know, he's definitely into the whole fashion art scene. So this is a cool interpretation of this Saucony silhouette through his lens. Got the glow in the dark and all that cool little special details happening right there. As far as the release date, December 4th via Saucony and Kiss. So as far as these releases, it looks like these are going to be pretty difficult to get your hands on. And anytime we mention any of these Saucony collabs, we got to salute that boy J-Tips, which I feel like he paved the way, you know, for collaborations like this to come to light. So cool looking shoe, keeping things rolling. Look, this rollout is going to be crazy, right? These shoes aren't set to drop till 2026, but look, we got Adidas pulling up to the complex office with the new Pharrell Jellyfish joints. These are going to be the triple black joints right here, which you got to appreciate the marketing efforts right here. You know, when you talk about the sneaker of the year list, Nike was a big player as far as last year's list, and maybe Adidas is trying to, you know, get a little clout right here, gifting these pairs the complex, you know, with the cool little pull-up, with the big truck and all that. You know how the sneaker politics go behind the scenes. But as far as this shoe, what do y'all think about these, right? Set to release next year globally, but there are going to be some exclusive drops coming up here soon in NY. We talk about the Jellyfish, a shoe which made a lot of noise for Adidas last year. And we talk about that complex sneaker of the year conversation. This was the only Adidas model which actually made that list. So as far as my take on these, right? The first pair was dope with the orange. Even the blue, the green pairs, while I felt like they didn't have that same energy as that first OG orange pair, I still think it was a nice touch, and the people rock with those heavily as well, even though these shoes are limited and all that good stuff. But as far as the triple black referee joints, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could get down with these, but then again, like, you know, people are gonna go nuts for these once these drop and they're limited and all that. So set to release globally 2026. Pharrell Jellyfish with a little soft launch coming up here soon in NYC, right? Which leads us into yesterday's big drop, right? Remember how we talked about this whole little sneakers code and everything that Nike was teasing? Well, it looks like they already dropped it for this sneakers app release. We got the LAAMS Nike Air Force 1 low coming soon. I don't even know if that's how you're supposed to say it. I don't know what the hell a LAAMS is, right? And I'm guessing like 90% of y'all have no clue what a LAAMS is as well. So thankfully, another complex did give us the 411, talking about the New York City-based Creative Hub. They're releasing this sneaker exclusively at their location. And then we're also gonna get a wider sneakers app release coming up here on the 16th. And it's noteworthy to mention, as y'all see right here, this sneaker is limited to just 2,000 units, retailing for $125. So as far as the inspiration behind this design, it references the green colored construction walls that are frequently scattered across the Big Apple. On those walls, you'll generally see the message, "Post no bills." But for this shoe, LAAMS flips the message with its name, inviting artists to use the walls as their canvas. So that sounds cool and all that good stuff. Honestly though, like, I'm gonna be real, like, I really can't get behind it. Like, the shoes are cool and all that, right? They got that pre-age vintage type of look going on, but as far as LAAMS, like, I have no connection. I don't know what the hell a LAAMS is until now. Honestly, I could care less about these, but as I always like to say, if you guys like them, I love them. It's not a bad looking shoe, right? I would definitely rock these, but as far as how difficult it is to get your hands on these, like, I could care less about a LAAMS. But we did mention the Nike sneakers code, which they did introduce to us this week, and they wasted no time dropping this release with a special sneakers code drop. So, of course, just as I mentioned, right, with the little code, you see it right here. I already told y'all, man, once the cook groups get their hands on the code, it's over with, bro. That joint's gonna spread like wildfire. And just like I told y'all, right, shout out to my man Dave Ass Kicks. I ain't gonna lie, their cook group is going crazy. Look, he passed out the code bandana. The drop went down at what, 1 o'clock? They already had the code literally within 3 minutes, bruh. This joint right here got almost 17,000 impressions after he posted it. But by that time, them joints were already sold out. So as far as Nike's effort with the little sneakers code, right? I see what they're trying to do. I compared it to the sneakers link. Of course, you guys know anytime somebody takes an L, they're gonna bash it and say that it was trash right here. They're talking about this was one of the worst release methods ever. Let's go ahead and see what the comments are talking about right here, because this was one that was tough to get your hands on. Somebody put, Nah, it's possible real fans can get items. Okay, that's kind of how I feel about it. But then again, if you take the L, you're gonna be salty, right? This dude Marcus said, I don't know why they thought that this would be a good idea. Mac J talking about horrible method. Friend of the year said, I'd rather do a draw. What's gonna prevent one guy to log into his million accounts and keep buying them? True. Or from like the cook groups for basically passing that joint out around. This dude put absolute worst. Javon said, I have no idea what LAAMS is exactly, bruh. But one thing I can tell you about LAAMS, right? Them joints were limited, the shoe is exclusive, and resale prices are skyrocketing. Retail on these, $125. Look, if I was to pay resale for these joints right here, look, they're asking just under $600, which no way in hell. The shoe's nice and all that, right? You got some nice little detailing. Look, don't get it twisted. Joints are clean. I mean, look at them up close, right? Look at that little detail in the green upper. But the hoops and hurdles that you got to jump through to get a pair of shoes like this, count me out on that one. So as far as the drop, people are saying worst method ever. What do you guys think about this whole sneakers code thing, right? Because when you compare it to stuff like exclusive access to the sneakers link, I hate exclusive access, right? I never get luck on that. I would low-key rather go with the sneakers link or with the sneakers code. I mean, or you could go sneakers pass where them joints are only gonna be dropping in certain regions in the bigger markets. So for the sneakers code, I'm kind of optimistic about it. I'm not gonna go ahead and bash it for now. We'll see how things play out. If it's just a one-and-one deal or if Nike continues to use this release method. Who knows, maybe for more drops coming up this month. And then lastly, guys, before we bounce, don't forget SoulFly Jordan 3s. The equal raffle is currently live. I know people are pissed about the little $10 win fee, but today's the last day to enter if you're looking to get your hands on this pair right here, which SoulFly's owner, they gave us a little look at some of the samples right there, as y'all see in the back, which I would have to say that based off the finished product compared to the samples, the sample joints were trash, bro. Like, definitely they snapped as far as the retail product. You see what I'm saying? Like how the green, I guess, what do you call that? The mud guard. I'm not a fan of Jordans that do that. The way that they went classic, simple, kind of like OG white cements, I feel like perfect way, you know what I'm saying, when you talk about this shoe right here. Plus, I don't know if y'all seen it. Let me find that dude. What's it? Kaiso Ma. Look, he posted these joints because you see they got the alternate laces, right? He's over here talking about he couldn't decide green or orange, so he went with both. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I feel like just the white is the way to go. But let me know what y'all think as far as this little lace swap right here. How would y'all rock them? And then lastly, you got the SoulFly owner again. He's over here posting this to his IG story talking about careful with the fakes, right? These fakes right here are disgusting, right? I believe this shoe has more of like a tumble leather. This got the smooth finish, wrong hang tag and all that, right? So as far as these, he's talking about careful with the fakes, but the whole reason people buy fakes is because they can't get their hands on the real joint. So it's almost hilarious, right? Shout out to Brandon in the comments over here talking about where can I buy one of these said fakes for size, which that was a great one, man. That one gave me a little chuckle right there. So as far as the SoulFly, just a little reminder, right? Today is the last day if you want to enter that raffle. As far as the SoulFly drop, we'll see how it all goes down, but maybe in your best interest if you're really looking to get your hands on these, right? And y'all see it, he said careful with the face, right? Bro, these are horrible, man. So that's all I got for y'all today. I appreciate everybody. I'm still a little under the weather. Pardon me for the tea, man, but I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this update, smash the like button, JATV. I'll catch y'all next time. In the meantime, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out, y'all. Love.